Honest reactions. This is a long one. This comes from my friends Rachel and June. Well, not really my friends. We live in the same country, and I follow them. I'm big fans of them. They probably don't even know I exist, but they did a little documentary here called Black in Japan. We're gonna watch the short version here. Perfect for reactors. It's still long. It's 17 minutes, but I thought it might be good for you guys to watch this with me and introduce you to Rachel and June, this channel. J-vloggers need a lot of help from the outside of Japan type of world, and I always felt like I was kind of in between, like that pipeline for you guys to get interested in Japan. If you're not, or if you're just a little bit interested, you can get interested in the J-vlogging world and such. Bringing them all together. Let's begin. Let's see, Black in Japan. Where's this play button? Oh, I think it's still downloading. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. I do. It's still downloading. I thought it was finished. It's a long video. Damn. It's done! Wow, just in time. I was about to stop the camera. Here we go.
My name is Amanda.
My name is Andre.
Hello, everyone.
It was shot
My
nice.
name is Ayana. My name is Latanya Whitaker.
My name is David.
I think I know David.
This is Jonas again. My name is Elise.
My name is Andre.
Hi, my name is Brittany.
I have been in Japan a total of 4 years.
10 months.
Over 4 years now.
10 years.
2
Yeah.
years.
3.5 years.
I am a housewife and mother currently.
I am an English teacher at the ACAD.
Doing dispatch teaching, part-time work at a preschool, and working at a bar for fun.
We are a gospel teacher, English teacher, musician, cooking company.
I am a translator and game debugger.
I first came to Japan as a musician, and I am an English teacher.
I'm a translator and I'm a teacher.
And I have
Everybody's
been
a teacher.
minority every place that I've lived.
Here, I feel like being black is celebrated. It's much more loved. I feel like Japanese people, they expect more of us. You know, they actually are rooting for us. Where I feel like in the States,
I should have remembered how long they've stayed in Japan, because that changes over time.
Admitted to Harvard.
Japan really loves black people.
Being a minority in Japan, I'm special. I get to do more things that I would have probably wanted to do in America, but the saturation of the particular minority makes me invisible.
For example, you know, the music industry in America really saturated, right?
I write songs for anime and video games. Final Fantasy 13, 2, Xenoblade, X Chronicles, and several anime. The example they
I could
gave
see
me
that.
was like typical American commercial rap. Like, okay, that's foolishness. So I wrote a song in like 2 hours and recorded it. They're like, cool.
That explains Final Fantasy 13.
Nobody's really trying to kill me here. Lesson, just walking to work in the morning, saw a police officer, kind of walk close to each other. I usually cross the street when I see a police officer, kind of naturally. He said, good morning. I said, good morning. You know,
Very interesting.
walked away.
Me living in Japan,
I don't get
I feel
that.
more comfortable, I feel safer. I don't feel that someone's going to shoot me just because of my skin color. So
I
that's
understand
why,
that.
You know, I want to stay in Japan.
With the gun laws the way that they are in Japan, I feel that it's safer for them. And he has so much love around him. And he can go to the supermarket or go to the
And not get
convenience
shot.
store for me at 4 o'clock in the morning and it won't be a problem.
There's no need for me to be a tough guy. I can be a tough guy, but it takes a lot of energy. I like quiet, you know. I just want to be me. I just want to relax and be comfortable.
Church, it goes to Canada where I go. They love us there. It's a bilingual church, Japanese and English, and they try to incorporate us.
They want to get to know more about us and our culture.
I've gotten a lot of support from just wanting to eat my country's food, or I teach gospel music, so wanting to learn about gospel music.
I have my job because I'm American. There are people who are perfectly capable of doing my job, but they just happen to be Asian, and they'll never get it.
People automatically think I'm cool. Unfortunately, a lot of that plays into the stereotypes that many people have, but
Yeah.
usually it's not.
She's got the same Domino's coupon I have.
They want to be enlightened, or these are things that they have these misconceptions about.
I think a lot of people don't know about Black culture, and it would
Eating
be
that
great
pizza.
to have more Black people come to Japan and it just expose our beautiful culture that we do have, the history that we do have, so they can understand more.
I guess their experience would be limited to what they see on the sitcoms or in music, and so it might not be a holistic view. But when you tell them things, I guess they're open to being corrected. Some of them.
Huh.
Apart from telling them Jamaica is not in Africa, I also told them I don't know Tupac. Children point and say, "Oh, guy, change that to Jim." Picture taking of you, random picture taking, just walking by your picture and laughing. They always say that, you know, hey, you're black, so you know, calling a black person the N-word is not cool.
I'm a good dancer, I'm a good singer, I'm a good musician, promiscuous.
Catcalling gets really specific when you're black. They like to call you Beyonce. I got a lot of Whitney Houston, who I look nothing like at all. They will question you about your hair. People ask about your hair all the time. And
Every
say,
fucking day.
Get out my head.
Yep.
Get off my hair.
One thing
Every
that
fucking
kind
day.
of annoys me, and it's not
Hair.
that big of a deal, as in it's not something that would make me want to leave
Hair.
Japan, is that I don't like being randomly touched.
Yes. Yeah.
My
Every
second
fucking
month
day.
here in Japan, I went to Kyoto, and this old lady
They just
out of
straight
nowhere,
grab.
like,
Yep.
grabbed my hair
fucking
and
s-
just like touched it, and
Yep.
was like, "Ureshi, ureshi."
Yeah.
I knew she was really happy to touch
Yep.
my hair, but it's just like, excuse you.
Old people have
My
no
hair, I'm
limit.
not touching you like an animal, so I would appreciate you don't do that. And a lot of times,
Like
there
a
are
chia
people
pet.
who are that curious.
People
Yeah.
asking me, are they real? Are they heavy?
Yeah.
Just
No comment.
Yeah.
like, wow, your chest is big. Can I touch your hair?
Yeah. They don't say, oh, can I touch your hair and touch? It's like,
They just grab it, yeah.
yeah. Are they heavy?
The negative experiences I have had have been like very few. I did have one guy approach me at a bus terminal, and he like sat extremely close to me and, you know, was like all up in my face, and he asked me if I was Nigerian, and then he like proceeded to like caress my face, and like I guess the look I gave him like kind of scared him away, and he like walked off. And that was a little unnerving, but that's like the only negative experience I've had.
It's nothing.
She's only been there for a short
The
while,
actions, like
though.
walking across the street,
I
that probably
very
still
remember.
can get me. I was in my classroom, and a little kid in front of all the parents called me Gorilla Sensei,
Ooh,
and I didn't know how to react, whether to.
that's happened to me also.
Okay, no, not Gorilla Sensei.
Yeah.
The child said it again, but that time the parent heard and slapped her in her head. It was bad for me because you feel so helpless. You don't know what to do because you can't really communicate
Yeah.
in Japanese.
I've got a
class.
gorilla,
And
monkey,
if I could, I
dirty.
could say what I want to say to her in a respectful way.
Ozaru,
That's not a nice thing.
Dragon Ball Z.
But she got the message from her mother, clearly. Not to say it again. But it really was something I thought that wouldn't really affect me, but it did.
Children who don't have the tatemae, they can't hide
Yeah.
whatever they actually feel, so they will visibly pull away from you or avoid you or
Yeah.
cry.
But I like
tease
that.
you. So if you're going into English teaching and
Yeah.
you're teaching children, be aware that that is a thing that might happen, that you might have to deal with.
Kids
Children
cry when
crying
I
just
enter the
from
room
looking at you
sometimes.
or running away from you because.
But then it builds character.
I did have a couple of
They
experiences
get over it.
with discrimination in Japan, but I don't necessarily think it's because I'm black. More so just
It's
for the
foreign.
fact that I'm a foreigner here. I'm not Japanese. I was looking for an apartment.
Yeah, that
I moved
click.
out my first one.
Foreigner? No.
The owner of that apartment
Yep.
said no to me
Yep.
because I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
normal.
that the discrimination that I've experienced here in Japan is the same microaggressions that all foreigners experience.
That's why I always have Japanese people hunt for me.
Category.
Apartments.
You know, like,
And I don't go to foreign
wanting to sit next to
apartment
them,
hunting
the
because they
bus,
charge
or
300
shouting
something
out
more.
English English phrases because it's funny. But as a black person, I feel that maybe people aren't as warm and friendly to me as maybe they are with like other like white foreigners. But that I don't feel very often, and maybe that's just because of where I live currently.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that much more.
Don't worry, white is still alright.
Here,
In
the
Japan.
minority feeling is very strong. You very much feel like you don't fit in. Everyone tends to stare a little bit, no matter what you're doing or where you're going.
Because you got a nose ring.
This head jerky thing from everybody. I definitely feel more comfortable in the States than I do in Japan. Only because people aren't staring all the time.
If you're not
Yeah.
Japanese, you're discriminated regardless.
Yeah.
So, I mean, either way, like, I'll never be Japanese, and that's okay, you know?
It's funny how they flipped
I'm
it suddenly.
here to respect the culture, and I'm here to take advantage of the opportunities that's given to me.
I think that a lot of the places that don't want to serve foreigners, they just can't speak English, and they don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I think it's more expensive for a business to
Yeah.
train their employees to speak English, or to hire employees that speak English, or
Yeah.
to look for employees that are
Especially in Tokyo, this is a huge debate.
I don't think I would stay here forever. I don't plan on staying here
Right.
forever because of the way they treat minorities in
Yeah.
terms of people that are half Japanese and half anything else. They kind of, especially children, I hear a lot of horror stories about
Yeah.
them trying to go to preschool and being labeled as outcast by other children
Yeah.
and the parents of those children. And that's kind of effed up, so I don't think I would want to put my child through that.
You could stay with me.
Not want to talk to you because they're not confident in their English ability. Business-wise, I think in terms of trying to get things done in Japan, if you don't have Japanese with you, it's really very hard.
Yeah.
If you speak Japanese, it's very hard for you.
All the places that I've lived, it's not as lonely as it is here in Japan, because at least I would see people who look like me on a daily basis. Whereas here, I don't run into other black people maybe once every few months or so.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like, you know, black men get treated differently than black women. For us black women, you know, we have to, you know, make sure we get our hair done.
Yeah.
Like products. That can be really hard.
I
Yeah.
think with a lot of Japanese guys, a lot of them are kind of scared or shy to
Intimidated.
approach a foreign girl.
Yep.
And the ones that are, they're usually not your typical Japanese guy. And
Yeah.
I would consider my boyfriend not so typical.
I
Yeah.
think it's easier for males than females because females maybe don't like certain things about Japanese males. Males tend to be less picky. If you want something long term, it might be a bit more difficult. But if you just want to get a fling, I don't think it's difficult, but it depends on what your preferences are.
me to say I've never tried a black guy before he don't have sex. They automatically had the assumption that I would sleep with him for some weird reason. There's not much you can say in that particular situation. You
Say
walk
yes.
away. No, thank you.
Huh?
There's people have a preconceived notion that, you know, black people are promiscuous and they're not going to be faithful in a relationship, or they might just be good for fun for now. You know, I've been treated like that as well.
100%
that will
true.
automatically assume that I'm from Africa.
I thought he was from Africa too.
The preconceived notion here that I've noticed is that everyone from Africa has HIV.
Japanese men aren't
Ooh.
typically the ones chasing after you. But I was lucky, and my husband was one of those rare ones. And
Oh, shit.
we have a 7-month-old daughter.
Damn.
And it wasn't necessarily difficult having her here. I do feel that people stared at me a lot more when I was pregnant, mainly because I feel like you don't see that many pregnant women.
Yeah.
Honestly, our daughter gets a lot of like positive reactions and feedback. Like, people are always wanting to see what she looks like, and you know, they treat her like any other baby. You know, they talk to her and just talk about how cute she is. But I do know that in the future it's going to change a little bit because, you know, children can be really cool.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Biracial or not 100% Japanese
Yeah.
can be difficult for a lot of
Really
people.
difficult.
But I'm hoping that she doesn't have to deal with those things as much as time progresses, and, you know, hopefully that we just teach her how to be strong. But so far she hasn't experienced anything negative.
Guys are so intimidated by us because of what they see in like the media and the music videos and stuff and how we're so aggressive and everything. But it's like, if they come up to us and just say hi and talk to us, you know, we're pretty friendly.
In terms of dating,
Just nice eyes.
I'm married to one, but we didn't date in Japan, so it's a little different. You get stereotyped more negatively here as a black woman, being loud or really strong, or someone who will not adapt to Japanese.
I'm not gonna lie though, she looks like a handful. That's not a bad thing, but
that's something you'll have to deal with.
Yeah.
I had to deal with that at the beginning of my marriage, where he was like, "You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna be like my mom. You're not gonna treat me like my mother treated me." And it's like, no, I'm not. And we got over that pretty quickly, so that's good.
oh, she did this call on Skype.
I mean, one thing since coming to Japan that I've learned is that people are pretty much the same everywhere.
That's been nice. I mean, even ignorance is what really drives fear. So once you can clear up the ignorance, it's pretty much smooth.
Yeah.
Sailing. There are things just like anywhere else where there are bad and good people, and majority of people in Japan are good. It's just for you to kind of get used to their culture without forgetting your own. So it's like sharing cross-cultural culture, so that you can have an understanding.
If you are set on coming here, just come to Japan and, you know, take your experiences for what they are. You're gonna have good experiences. You're gonna have great experiences. You're gonna have
I'm tripping out at
bad days. But really, I feel that it's all based on how you deal with those situations.
Exactly.
There
Yeah.
are actually more of us here than you think. Don't feel like you're alone when you come here. There are a lot of us. There's a network. There are Facebook groups for black women in Japan.
Oh, that's good.
And just don't be afraid to use these awesome resources like the internet to find us and make friends, because we're all about helping you get comfortable.
By the way, the video's lagging on my side too,
Be
so.
positive.
And there's actually a nice group on Facebook. I forgot the title of it, but it's probably Black Women in Japan.
Probably.
And there, I hear
That's
some
cool.
other women's experiences in Japan.
What about red men in
many
Japan?
areas in Japan. And some of them have, you know, experienced some of these discriminations and racist remarks. So again, they've experienced, I haven't. But I do know that it's out there and I am aware of it. So if it does happen to me, I could probably, you know, face it a little bit better than me just being like, oh, nobody's racist, or me being angry at everybody because, oh, everybody's racist. I'm not going to do that. So please come to Japan open-minded. And if you are in Osaka, please let me know.
Live in your community and support your community. They will support you, and many great experiences will come.
I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend making as many Japanese friends as you can.
Japan has been nice to me so far. I've made some amazing friends.
I'm mostly enjoying my time here.
There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of love. So, yeah, just try it.
The worst question you can ask yourself is, what if?
You
What
didn't
if?
do it, yeah.
You know, and you don't want to ask that, because then if you ask what if, you're going to envy other people on Facebook. Your friends say like, oh, I wish I could do that. Like, well then do it. What's holding you back?
Good, very good point. Very good point. That was nice, Rachel and June.
I think having a daughter who is biracial, one of the things that I am really in tune to is other biracial or half kids. And I remember one time I was walking in a train station and there was a little girl who was half black.
I want to know more, but I don't want to go through that. That video's like an hour and a half. I might scan through it later. Damn it. Yeah, I mean, all their points were on point, no pun intended and such. And, you know, the only thing I'm going to add to it, because they've covered a lot, but let me just talk about the kid situation. That's a big thing that bothers me a lot, actually. It's because I think I work with kids a lot, and I work with young kids in the daycare, kindergarten, all the way up to adult. And, you know, there's a huge difference between, like, there's one child I work with, and he's half black, half Japanese. He looks completely he looks completely black. Like, everybody thought he was my kid, actually, which was a whole nother thing about Japanese people making stupid ass jokes, and stereotypical jokes that aren't really that funny, but it's just like, oh, he's black, you're black, so he must be your kid. Like, it's some like old OG son making that joke and shit. Or, you know, this is like, you know, for example, if someone is getting hired or we're applying for a job or something, and it's just like, oh, okay, oh, well, no, and he's black or whatever, and he has a daughter, and it's like, okay, oh, no, well, this black child can play with this other black child here, he can have a girlfriend, like, it's like, and I was just like, what? And I was like, why can't he have a Japanese girlfriend? Like, come on now, like, some, these little things, and like, but the main point about the kid thing is, I watched this, and I watched this very closely, especially within Fukuoka. I found that it's a little bit harder because Fukuoka is very naive to foreigners in general. I think Tokyo, you know, you have more, since more foreigners grow up, go there, start there, they grow up there, and, you know, there's second generations already happening and things like that. And so there's more of a mix, and you can actually enroll your kids into international schools and things like that. But I think with Fukuoka, even though it's a big city and there are a lot of foreigners here in Fukuoka, I think the foreigner sensitivity is really messed up, actually. And just the fact that Japan's not very open to, as open as you would think, or as international as they would believe, to all different sorts of culture. Like, it's okay for like a culture day, like our culture week or some shit like that, or something like that, but to actually try to understand more about the culture, not really. I mean, nah, I don't think they're as acceptant of that. You know, I see the stress. A lot of my hafu is half foreigner, half Japanese. A lot of my hafu kids they go through a lot of stress trying to assimilate and mix within school. The one of these schools that I do teach at, they're actually very good about it, but I can see that it's still a little bit of a stress. Like, the darker the skin is, the more shit they sometimes have to take or whatever. The lighter the skin is. You know, for example, one of my classes, there's a boy, there's one class where I have two boys, and one is like half Italian or something like that, and a little darker skin, and the other one is half. He might be all white actually, but like he's from America, but now lives in Japan. And like during the English classes, they always ask. They look at him for the translation. They always look to the white guy for the if I say something in English, right? And the whole point is for them to try to absorb it. They get lost. They look directly at the white kid for advice. Kind of like cheating off the Asian kid in a math class or something like that. And the kid, he gets so annoyed because he's just like, yes, I know it's my native language, but I'm not supposed to be giving you the answers, and I shouldn't even be in this goddamn class, right? But he's been real cool with it. And, you know, I try to talk to him on the side about things, even like Star Wars, because he loves Star Wars and little things like that. So the kid thing is a big issue, and I worry about that too, especially as for the most part, a black man. I'm mixed with something, but I worry about that just on a day-to-day basis, just wanting to raise my kid. Like, if I ever get a Japanese girlfriend that eventually becomes my wife and ends up having a child, unless I'm like super famous or something, it would be very stressful to have a child like that, like to grow up in, especially even myself. So we're moving on into myself. My experiences. I've been dealing with Japan for over 10 years now, 12 years. When I first came to Japan in 2003. And I've just had every form of some sort of discrimination against me. And like, even in that one video when I was shopping for glasses, you can see, like, when I use my Japanese, I completely change my voice. All the bass of my voice is gone, so I become a little less threatening, and when I approach somebody, I don't sound like this, like Batman creeping up on you. Where is it? Like that, right? So, and it's something I do naturally at this point, even when speaking in English at work. I changed my voice just a little bit more. Wow! So it's a little less threatening and a little more, yay, I'm okay. So, it's something I've learned to play the game a lot better now. Especially for me with the colored hair. There's a lot of like, one of my friends, Sam, he lives in Tokyo. We were talking about this even last year when I was having job problems, and he was just saying, he's like, dude, you got many things against you already living in Japan. You're not like in your 20s. You're not in your 20s. You're black. You have colored hair. You have dreadlocks. It's like getting a job out here is very difficult. Like, you gotta learn to play the game better. So, you know, and this isn't to say that living in Japan is being miserable, but like, just like someone said, like the hair care products, all that shit. Like, there's certain stuff, even for, you know, people that aren't black just wouldn't know. There's certain things that black people just need. Fucking, where's my... I got fucking cocoa butter right here, you know? Like, that's the shit you need, and black people know what you need that shit for. And to answer your question, for everything, okay? But that's something they don't sell out here, and if you do, it's gonna be very imported. So I always have my mom has to continuously ship that shit for me, or I have someone on base sent me some hair gel. If I want to get my dreads done, I gotta pay like fucking $300, $400 to have someone do it. Now, I don't know if a Japanese person can do it as well, but I don't want to pay fucking $300 to have my hair dreadlocked. So, so basically I need to do it myself all the time, which is why I don't do it so often. Other than that, you know, the only last point I'm gonna say is, like, yes, they talked about getting praise, and I thought that was, I think that's good. They get praise and they're treated like very high on a kind of esteem level, but at the same time, I noticed a lot of these people, they haven't been there for too long, and the ones that were saying like they're so nice to you and all that, it's great, but it wears thin very, very fast. Especially, like, I noticed a lot of them are married. But if you're single, like that one black guy was talking about it, if you're single, that runs very thin. It's very hard to get a stable relationship. Especially the problem I've been having is the last 4 years living in Fukuoka. I get put on this like big celebrity pedestal, like, you're a foreigner, you're black, oh, America's so cool. But usually they say Jamaica or Brazil, but they're just like, you're so cool. And the first question is always, is your hair real? Really? Can I touch it? How do you wash your hair? It's like you gotta go through these fucking 21 questions like an application every single time you meet somebody in Japan. And it wears a little bit fucking thin. Like, because you can't ever get... This is more or less dealing with Fukuoka, but I've had this happens in Tokyo too, is you get put on a pedestal, so to speak. It's like, oh, and they're down here, so you can never actually have this like normal sort of relationship or friendship, because you're never on like an equal level. Like, you just want to be like, no, I want to see you down here, like, you don't have to put me up on this. And sometimes they just want to be friends with you because you're a foreigner, right? And take pictures of you and update it on their Mixi account or some bullshit like that, right? Like, here's me with a black guy like that. Even for English teaching, people would come on trial lessons just so they can take a picture of me to show that they're learning English. Like, and so you try to use that for your advantage, but in terms of like long-term relationships and like long-term friendships, it wears very, very thin. And so that's why one of the reasons I'm moving back to Tokyo is I want to continue my relationships with my university friends, the people that I went through the shit with, so to speak, on an equal level. And we just talk, like, they're Japanese, but their mindset is very similar as mine. Still talking about WrestleMania, you know, Ayako. I'll introduce you guys to her one day. Ayuko, she's real fucking cool and shit. Hanami, they're all real cool, and we just fucking hang out, and it's like this equal level opposed to this praise and shit, like, for just being a foreigner, right? So it's one of the reasons I like Ayumi as well, who you guys have met too. Is she's like, yeah, man, she's like, I tasted black cock lots of times, and it's like, whatever. So she'll just see me like as, shouldn't have said that. She'll see me on the same level because she's dated like black guys and she knows about the black world. Her boyfriend at the time would be in the fucking spend 45 minutes doing mustache and all this other bullshit, right? You know, black guys, we know what it's all about. I don't do it, but yeah. All right, guys. Otherwise, it was real cool. I liked the documentary. I asked them if I could react to it, so we'll put this on pending. So this will be uploaded whenever Rachel and June gives the okay. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Yeah, I hope they do a follow-up because I would like to be in the next one or something like that. But it's cool. If you guys have any questions about this, anything that you want me to talk about a little bit more, maybe just leave some questions below and I'll do like an update video to it. Okay? Alright, I'm out. Peace.